So yeah, I'm Nick, and I'm from. I was born in the UK to a French mother and an English father. So I grew up as an English speaker, but with some French as well. And at university, I took up Chinese. I did a joint honours degree in Chinese and economics, and so I began my journey in Chinese learning, I suppose.
I come from Colombia, in Taiwan, 6 years, since 2007. I started, when I came to Taiwan in 2007, I studied for 1 year in Shitas Mandarin Training Center.
When I arrived in Taipei, my mission was to teach French. So I taught French, and on the side I had a parishioner who is a Chinese teacher who gave me free classes, so during 3 months and 4 hours per week.
I came in the 21st of August last year, so almost 1 year. So I just come in Taiwan and start learning Chinese in Taiwan.
I think I've got a natural resistance to learning in the very repetitive way. I can't remember what it's called. Tianyasi ma, is it the copying, the repeating. Yeah, I've got a natural resistance to that. But you do have to an extent. I much preferred, I think, learning a little bit on my own. I would spend a lot of time actually envisaging conversations in my head. I'd met someone in the street, and maybe I'd try and, or someone of my friends, and a little bit like hip hop in a way. I'd be kind of creating dialogues in my head, and maybe things that amuse me, but like good practice. And then you'd be like, wait, but how can I communicate this? And then maybe you'll check and learn a new word. I did a lot of that, and then maybe in the actual situation you will actually use and practice this language, even though it's a bit like theatre. Yeah, especially at the beginning, it's a bit like theatre. So, if some things, especially, a lot of people say the first thing you learn from another language is often like the swear words and stuff. These things are said with more vigor and more anger maybe, or more emotion. Those ones really go in. They really pick them up really quickly. Zao Gao and all this stuff. But that's probably because everyone says it as well. But yeah, these things, it's swear words or like things that people might say when emotional.
Emotional words.
They flow. And actually, from songs as well. These, because of the rhythm, you can remember those as well. I found more. If you don't want to be alienated as an expat, if you can really go into a local feeling, and that includes your accent and what you talk about and how you express it and the rhythm you express it, I think it's a kind of de-alienating skill.
I learn traditional characters, and I think that maybe it depends also of every person, but I think that maybe it's good to start with traditional characters, so it can be easier after to learn simplified. But it depends also of the person. So now I learn traditional character. In Chinese we have 4 tones. 4 tones. For me the easier one was the first tone. And the difficult one in the beginning was the 4th tone. The Chinese say it very well. They say ting, ting, so listening, sure, so speak, do, so read, I can say read, and xie, so to write. So it's important, I think, to focus on to have these priorities. If not, some can focus mainly on writing, and they have many difficulties for the listening. But when you see people outside, the first thing is not to write, but is to speak. with them. If the lesson has 25 characters, so we will start the first day by learning some of the characters, maybe learn 6 or 7 of them. We spend time to know how to write the order of the stroke.
The most difficult thing in Chinese are the tones. It's very difficult to get them, especially the second tone. The second tone was the hardest to get. The easiest was the first one. The first tone, because when I speak French, well, when French speaks French, they speak with the first tone. Like at the end of the sentence, our voice goes down and the same. So the first tone is the easiest. Then the first one, then the third, and then the second. I particularly like the expression 小朋友, which means little children, little child, but literally it means little friend, and that it means that even if the child is a child, it's still a friend for the older people. I like this point of view of things. When I was in Taos, so in the Hualien County in Yuli, I was speaking with one of the staff of the center I worked in, and I don't remember why, but we spoke about the bishop, and when I wanted to say the word bishop in Chinese, I said 猪脚, which means pig foot, because the word bishop in Chinese is very close to this one. It's 猪脚, so 猪脚 and 猪脚. Yeah. So it was quite funny.
I learned Bopomofo.
Bopomofo.
Yeah.
So do you think it's a very helpful method?
I think Bopomofo is better if you want to be more accurate in your pronunciation, because I think Pinyin just modifies a little bit because it romanizes the pronunciation, so it sometimes is not as accurate as Bopomofo. And plus my Chinese teacher, she was very conservative about it, and she said like, once you master the Bopomofo, you can switch to Pinyin, but you need to learn Bopomofo first because you live in Taiwan. I think the third tone that goes like yeah, because you know, it's like the second tone is more like the way we ask in Spanish, like so, but the second tone is difficult to mix with other tones, you know, and like make it properly. I think the third tone could be the more difficult, and the first tone maybe the easiest one. My boyfriend came to visit me, and I took him like around Taiwan, and that was the first time I had to deal like only myself, you know, facing the Chinese speaking world, like being able to book tickets, you know, take trains, buses, just go around, ask. So that was like the very first experience I had, like by myself, like trying to communicate in Chinese. That was like maybe 3 months after I started to learn, or 4 months after. So I had to put everything I had learned together. Advantage of having a class in a group is like you have more chance to discuss with your classmates and have like role games, and just it's challenging when you try to communicate among others, you know. But the good thing with the one-on-one or one-on-two is like you have more chance to ask questions without interrupting the group, you know, the process of learning. So you have more chance to ask directly the teacher, or just if she has to repeat, it's okay because it's only you, or maybe just 2 people. So I think that helps to sharpen the language, just to make it like better in a way, because you have accomplished a certain level that you need more like focus, more than being like sharing experience with your classmates. Is more focus on your interest. So I think both are good depending on what you're looking for. Sometimes I use the translator, but more for reading. When I don't get it, like I just use the translator to get the right idea, to make sure that I'm not mixing meanings or I'm confused. But yeah, I use the translator, but I basically use it like English, Chinese, because I think the Spanish Chinese is not accurate enough.
We had like a program back in the day called TriScripts, which we used to practice our characters. It's like a little computer program with like the memory and the where it's using memory. It's kind of like cards in a way, and you guess.
Was it a software program? Or?
Yeah, that was a software program. I mean, towards the end I started using that, but maybe I would do, actually at the beginning I was doing very badly, and then towards the end, second half of the year, I started maybe trying to do like 10 characters a day, and revising them in the morning just for 5 minutes.
And also I use one website, Stroke Learning, Stroke Order Learning. It's one I think Taiwanese educational center website, something like that. I can give you the address after. So who helped me also to know the order of the stroke. So I start to write with this order.
On my computer, I use Google Translate. And on my phone, I use application Pleco with a Grand Ricci dictionary.
When I was studying, I used a lot online dictionaries, like Yellow Bridge was the one I used the most, because it had both like traditional and simplified, and yeah, I think it was like quite complete. And since I got a smartphone, I use more Hamping, an application that is very useful. Yeah.